Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, my dad's blue Mercedes. I'll never forget the smell of the blue Mercedes-Benz when you first enter it and it hasn't been turned on for a while. It was the best smell in the world and the only one my little nostrils inhaled really fast repeatedly until I gave myself a headache. Or till my older sister would tell me to stop. On a hot summer day, it was essential to beat the dust out of the cushions and watch it fly around like magic fairy dust. I remember the red triangle sign that was big and right in the middle of the car beneath the radio. My dad would often leave us in the car as he ran his errands, and of course, after a fuss over who got to sit in the driver's seat, that button was always the most satisfying thing to press as a driver. It was the only one that actually did anything. Tick, 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 flashing. I was an excellent chauffeur. This very blue car reminds me of one of the very few moments I regret in my life. Now, it's such a silly story, but for some reason I'm filled with emotion every time I remember how I felt. It's one of the first memories of a feeling that wasn't quite familiar to me yet. A feeling I now know too well and have come to terms with the fact that I have a bad case of guilt-driven empathy. GDE. Don't look it up. I must have been about 5 years old and impatiently waiting with my sister Sam and cousin Layla for her dad to arrive and take us to his sister's house, who had a swing set. We waited in the front yard for what seemed like forever when my dad came out of the house and got into his car. He rolled down the window and said, "I'm gonna run a quick errand. Any takers?" We told him we were waiting for Uncle Majid to come pick us up. He told us it wouldn't take long and he'll bring us back before Uncle gets here. No takers. But then, I'll go. I can tell my dad was happy to have one of us along with him on a tedious errand ride. So we go run a very boring errand where my dad was talking to another adult and it's taking forever and I'm getting impatient and more worried that they would leave without me. I tug on my dad's shirt. He says, yes, we're leaving now. When we finally arrive home, I look up eagerly from my backseat window, and yep, no surprise, they left without me. My father, probably filled with guilt as he looks at a tearful 5-year-old with a really bad case of fear of missing out, smiles and says, "It's okay, you and I will go somewhere instead." He backs the car out of the garage and I'm filled with joy again. He says, "How about we go to Popeyes and have some fried chicken?" Just a way to a chubby kid's heart. I'm on cloud 9 as my dad is blasting loud Arabic music and reassuring me that we're going to have more fun than the others. We come to a stop at a traffic light, and to our left is a small white car that looks very familiar. 2 little dark-haired faces are sitting in the back waving. It's Uncle Majid's car, and now he and my dad have the windows down as they say hello. Uncle Majid probably says something to the extent of, "Should I take her instead?" And my dad then asks me in the rearview mirror whether I want to stay with him or go play with them instead. "You have to decide quickly before the light turns green," he says. I hesitate, naturally, because I was the slowest decision maker ever and I hated how the world makes you choose between a cheeseburger and chicken nuggets. It was all so stressful because I could never be happy with my decisions and I need someone to make them for me all the time. Where's Mom when you need her? "I don't know," I blurt out. I see my sister telling me to hurry up and decide, a gesture I'm much too used to seeing. I say, "Oh, okay, I'll go with them." And before I know it, I'm being transferred like cargo from one car to the other. The traffic light turns green, and I see my dad's blue Mercedes drive away. There's no music in this car. Just the noisy chatter of my 2 best friends and other cars on the street. I'm instantly filled with homesickness. A feeling I often felt and one that ruined my chances of ever sleeping over at anyone's house because I would always call my mom in the middle of the night crying and begging her to come get me. It was always a tummy ache. Now my dad doesn't get to go to Popeyes because of me. He was happy and excited and I shattered his world by leaving him in the car all alone. Oh, how fast remorse consumes a sensitive child. There I stood feeling resentful of the swing set for being so lame after all. The slide was rusty and burnt my bare chubby thighs. I could have been playing in Popeye's playroom for God's sake. Funniest thing is my dad probably doesn't remember any of it and went about his day just as normally as I was in the car. Heck, maybe he even went to Popeyes and had dinner that night. But yeah, there's a story for you. The dreadful opportunity costs of life. And that's why I don't go anywhere without my consultant now. She's sitting in the front there. Her name is Sam. And the only reason she's not giving me the hurry up gesture is because I could get disqualified. Thank you.